There's Another Way to Do That, where I teach you how to modify recipes based on my restrictions. For season 2, we're modifying recipes inspired by my guests. So let's get into it. Mikhala Jené loves fresh spring rolls. I love fresh spring rolls too, so it won't be much of a modification. So today we're going to make fresh homemade spring rolls. I believe Mikhala Jené likes the shrimp ones, but today I'm going to do a veggie one because I just feel like I enjoy the vegetarian kind, and I feel like it's a nice summer treat and it's very easy to make. So let's get into it. Another thing that I'm doing, which is new for me, is I'm making a fresh peanut sauce. I've never made that before. That's a new thing for me, and I'll have to make some modifications because she likes it a little spicy. And you know, your girl can't do the spice. But it should be very interesting, and as I get into each step, you'll know what to do. All right, so I kind of already started with cleaning up the veggies. So everything's washed and ready to go. You're going to need some carrots. Instead of butter lettuce, I decided to do microgreens for my lettuce. And I think sometimes people do sprouts. I think that's like probably the main thing. I just don't eat sprouts all the time, so I didn't want to waste it because I'll use it for this and then I won't have it for anything else. Don't be wasteful. Okay, and then I'm using some fresh mint and cilantro. And then we're just going to do some radicchio and cucumber. I'm going to handle this similar to what I did with if you saw my recipe for the sushi in February, you can check that out. I'm going to handle the cucumber the same way because it'll be in these little strips. And I can't remember what she called it at the time, Chef Jene, when I did this for her, with her. She taught me what it was called, but I don't remember. And I'm going to do the strips, and then I'm just going to cut these strips in half so that, yeah, it's not hard to add in there. It's not too much. I'm hungry, so I'm eating as I go today. The next thing will be literally just combining everything into the actual spring roll. You'll need some spring roll paper. It's called a spring roll rice wrap. They do have other wraps, but we're going to use the rice one. And I've found that when I've used these before, the main thing is you have to use water. I like using water a little here. I should probably use some gloves, but I want to be able to feel this right. There we go. And you want to make sure that you have this where it's fully saturated, but not so saturated where you can't actually roll it. It's just like too sticky, but it does have to get a nice amount of water on there. I just want to make sure I don't overdo it. You'll be able to tell by the texture of it because it's hard at first. And then as you work with it, it'll get sticky. I'm making a mess. Watch I do too much. I'm sure there might be another way to do this. Haha. But this is how I understand it's supposed to go. Now, see, if you do too dang on much, you're going to tear it like I just did, but it's okay. That's why they give you a big old pack, I think, because they know you're going to mess up. Okay. So you kind of see it gets really sticky. So, which is good because it makes the rolling easy, but all right, we just gonna try one. This is where you all can, Mikhala, you can chime in, tell me what I'm doing wrong. So I'm just gonna literally just throw it in there. Okay, it's not cute, but you get the idea, right? And we'll do it a little bit better as we keep going. I'm gonna just eat this. And I'm just literally gonna combine this. I'm just adding to one side and then I'm gonna roll it up like a burrito and then bring in the sides. I'm sure there's an elegant way to do it. I already been eating, so that's why my stuff is down. It doesn't look like it's a lot, but it really is jam-packed. And then I'm gonna put like 2 cucumbers, and then we're just gonna roll this. Grab this end, I'm gonna pull it close to that. Mine gonna be fat. I don't like when they tiny anyway. Ooh. There we go. I'm just gonna fold it over. Look at that. Ooh. Look. It's cute. Now, see, you see how this is fully wet, but it's not like sticky yet? That means it still needs to be in the water, because it won't roll right. There we go. When it starts looking like the sheets on your bed, where they folding all up when you try to hold them up, that's when you know it's ready. Okay. Ooh, this one didn't bend all up this time. So, yes. Oh, yeah, it feels good. All right, let's put this last little bit. I'm going to try to distribute a little bit more with the carrots. We're going to use the rest of the carrots. Gonna go out of sequence a bit. Add me a couple more of these cucumbers and the microgreens, fresh mint, and cilantro. The cilantro is really nice. It adds a nice little pop of flavor with that mint. I do like that. Radicchio is a little bitter, so if you're someone who doesn't like the bitter taste of it, you can always try a different veggie, because I feel like you can put whatever you like up in here. This is whatever you like. All right. I'm not sure if I'm doing these rounded corners right, but I just do it enough so it sticks to each other, like I'm doing a letter or something. Not a letter, a birthday present. We're gonna move on over to make the sauce. Let's do it. Before I head over, I'm going to cut up some of this fresh garlic. I decided to do fresh garlic for this because it's a sauce, and especially for a sauce, I just think it's better. So now we're going to go ahead and do the peanut sauce. I'm going to modify this a lot, One, because I don't eat sriracha, but if you eat it, you should add it to it. And I'll make sure I put that in the recipe in the description. But pretty much, I'm just going to be making this, the homemade garlic first with the olive oil. And I'll show this up close to you. We're going to start with that. I probably put a little bit too much olive oil. The recipe says to do 1.5 tablespoons of the peanut butter. I'm only going to do a tablespoon because I've recently found out that nut butter makes me have an insulin spike. I don't know, another thing to worry about. So I'm not going to go crazy with it because I don't want mine to spike. 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce. The hoisin sauce does have tamari in it, so it's not necessarily necessary. You're only supposed to have 1 clove of garlic, but I went ahead and did a lot of garlic because I knew I wasn't going to add more peanuts to the mix because, again, I'm scared about the insulin spike. But mine is going to be a little bit more garlicky, I think. But I don't mind it because what I tasted, I don't mind having a little bit of extra garlic taste with it. And you, of course, you don't have to eat the extra little garlic cloves. You can just allow it to flavor it and be fine with it. I'm also not going to add any salt to this. I'm going to taste it, and I don't think I'll need the salt, but I'm going to taste it because I might need salt. She said to add like 1.5 cups of water, but I'm going to I don't want that much sauce, and I like my sauces to be thicker, actually. So I'm going to just try it like this and cook this down. I'm going to let it get a little bit looser, but I don't want it to be like watery. I would prefer it to be thicker. And see, that's probably why that having that other having a teaspoon of the nut butter would be helpful because it's going to help thicken that stuff up. Okay, let's try it. That's good. That hoisin sauce is really good. It adds a little sweetness to it. I actually wouldn't mind a little salt in there. I'm gonna add a little salt. That's it. Ooh, that's about to be good. And voila, we have homemade fresh veggie spring rolls. Let's try it. Oh, this salt. Wow. I'm gonna pour this in there. I like the garlic. I like garlic, so this is my new snack. Oh my goodness. The sauce. This is like finger licking good. You can't even don't buy sauce. Make the sauce. This episode should have been called The Sauce. Oh my God. If this has shrimp, I get it. Come on. Okay, Mikhala. The last thing I'll say about this is the sauce is so simple, but it's also so complex with flavors. Definitely put the sriracha in. If you can do the sriracha, you know I can't do the peppers and stuff, but if you can, it'll just add so much more to it. It'll up level the sauce. And that little bit of salt that I added, and along with the fresh garlic, I love the fresh garlic. It's just, it just heightened it so much. I'm glad I didn't do the pre-minced garlic because it just wouldn't have done the same thing. Wouldn't have done it justice. Make the sauce yourself. If you can eat peanuts, make sure you make these spring rolls. They are so delicious. You won't regret it. This has been There's Another Way to Do That, which is part of I Can't Eat Shit podcast on YouTube and wherever you stream your podcast. Make sure you try this out. It's so good. I'm about to eat all of this. And make sure you check out the full podcast episode for Mikhala Jené.